guys. So I wanted to talk about something that a lot of people don't even realize is a form of abuse, but it is. So if you've ever been in a relationship with someone who has basically tried to control everything about your finances, that is also a form of abuse. Now, what I mean by that, and I'm going to share a little bit of a personal story here. I'm not going to give any identifying information, at least not intentionally, about this person, because I'm not in this to kind of ruin their reputation. But I was in a relationship with someone in the past who basically would take my credit cards away from me, or my debit card, whatever, my bank card. At that time, I was getting food stamps. He also took my food stamp card away from me, so I had no way to, have access to that to get food. And I was heavily reliant on that because of the amount of rent that I had to pay every month. And, I didn't really have cash to pay for food. So he would take all of that and keep it with him. And when he did that, he basically had control of pretty much everything that was necessary for me to continue living. You need food to live. You need money to pay your rent so you can have a place to live that's safe and not outside. And when things got really bad between me and him, he wouldn't allow me to get food. We didn't live in the same house, so he was, over wherever he lived at, and I would be calling him, asking him for, my food stamp card, or even just a little bit of my money off of my card, so then I could go to the grocery store and get some things to kind of tide me over for a while. But he would never let me have these cards, and it was just super, super difficult for me to continue living a normal life. And at one point I had gotten a student loan refund, and he ended up taking my money and buying jewelry for other girls with my student loan refund check. And there were things that I needed to pay for and that I needed to buy for my own, living situation as far as my apartment at the time. And I wasn't able to, because it went to go buy all of the things that he wanted to get and all of the things that he wanted to buy for all of these other women. And it was just a slap in the face. And I remember one time I asked him to bring me some food, just use my card and buy me some stuff and bring something to me, because I was so sick that I couldn't get out of bed, and I was just throwing up everywhere because I hadn't been really eating. And I just got really, really sick. And I remember he brought me food that already had bites taken out of it by the girl that he was also seeing at the same time. So it was a terrible feeling of having to be so dependent on someone else just to give you access to your own money, and to my own food stamp card, the food stamp card that was supplied to me for the reason of, getting food for myself. And I just feel like there's been so many times in my past that I have been in these terrible relationships, and I never, when I'm in the relationship, I tend to overlook things, and I'm sure that a lot of people out there do the same thing. You overlook things because you think, oh, well, maybe it's just they're having a bad day, or maybe it's just that, they're in a bad mood, whatever. Financial control is still a form of abuse. Whether they limit the amount of money that you're allowed to have, or whether they don't give you any access to your own money at all. There is no reason why the person that you're with should be dictating how much of your money you are able to have access to. Now, I can understand if you're married and maybe, you know, the person that you're with needs to kind of, or not necessarily just the person that you're with, because when you're married, you should be having this conversation together. So then, you know, you can set it all out. Who needs to pay what? How much needs to be paid? You know, maybe you have a joint bank account. Maybe you have two separate accounts. But even still, even when you're married and you've made that serious commitment to each other, you can't allow yourself to be in that situation where you, whether you're receiving disability benefits or whether you are receiving income from a job, you can't allow yourself to be put in the situation where you have no way to access those funds. Those funds are yours. Okay? Even though you're married, it's not what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. No. Because I've been there, done that, it doesn't work. You know, you can share, that's fine, but you still need to have your own cards, and you still need to have access to your money when you need it. There's no reason for you to give the financial control over to the person that you're with just because you're with them. Don't feel pressured into doing that because, like I said, I've been there and I've done that and it doesn't work. Just please don't get trapped in the situation. I know a lot of people might just, you know, kind of look at it as something that's old-fashioned where, you know, the men like to control certain things about the relationship. They like to be in charge of certain things. But this is 2016, and you have to realize when you're being taken advantage of, and you have to realize when relationships or marriages are unhealthy. And the sooner that you realize that a relationship or marriage is unhealthy, the sooner that you can detach yourself from that situation or work on fixing the issues. Because not everybody just wants to give up on the situation. But if it is an abusive situation, there's no point in trying to even change that situation or fix it, because if you are dealing with someone who is abusive, they will continue to be abusive, and you know, if it's happened once, it will happen again. Believe me, I've been there and I've thought all those thoughts where you think, oh, well, maybe if I change something about myself, then it will change that person. That's not how it works. They have something wrong with them in the head, okay? They don't think about things like normal people do. If they did, they wouldn't be abusive in the first place. So I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys about financial control. Hopefully, you know, none of you guys are dealing with that. If you are, feel free to reach out to me and I can give you some resources on where you can go to get help. I can give you advice, maybe talk about some more things that I've been through myself. So with that being said, that's all I have for right now. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys got something out of this. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and I will see you guys again tomorrow.